Imagine getting caught red-handed and saying something as completely ridiculous as this.
We were in a role-playing chat room.
Yeah, that's what this eccentric character blurted out when he got caught. But what's he up to these days? Oh, it looks like nothing much has actually changed. You see, David Wesley Schumacher Jr., better known as Freebird_72000, was a cut above your average TCAP weirdo. He got caught up in a sting-up in Fort Myers, Florida, and he's quite the infamous figure for a number of reasons. First off, David had a knack for running afoul of the law, and he seemed to have a thing for being a gangster. Yeah, you heard that right. He fancied himself a bit of a tough guy, and it's not too surprising that this got him into trouble eventually.
Knock, knock.
Hey, come on in!
I mean, just look at how carefree the dude was. Now, here's the real kicker though. David was a diehard defender of his role-playing chat room escapades. I mean, we're talking about a grown man here who took his online role-playing thing to a whole new level. It's almost like he couldn't tell where the roleplay ended and the reality began. And what's crazier, he didn't just stop there.
I was saying from the jump, I ain't talking to no bro.
Even years later, he was still defending his behavior on his very own YouTube channel. You might be wondering, what's so bad about role-playing in a chat room? Well, strap in, folks, because this story is going to take some seriously disturbing turns.
You gonna put my in your mouth?
And yes, he was well aware of how old the setup was. You see, David Schumacher's infamy stems from the fact that he's one of the standout suspects featured on a certain TV show, and boy did he make an impression. Trust me, it's not the kind of impression you want to make. Let's talk about his online persona for a second. By the name Freebird72,000, and it's clear he had a wild imagination. But where it gets downright uncomfortable is how he used this persona to engage with others. It wasn't just innocent role-playing, it was downright creepy. His interactions in those chat rooms were beyond inappropriate, and David seemed to revel in pushing boundaries and making people uncomfortable. And what's worse, he genuinely believed he was doing nothing wrong by engaging in inappropriate behavior like this. As for his infamous encounter with law enforcement in Fort Myers, Florida, that was the tipping point. He thought he was meeting up with someone he knew deep down he really shouldn't be meeting up with, but what he didn't know was that it was all part of a sting. Once he found himself in a tough spot, the way he tried to justify his actions was nothing short of mind-boggling.
But
She told you she was
we were in a role-playing chat room, dude.
I mean, this guy had zero remorse. It's like he lived in his own twisted reality where he could do whatever he pleased without having to think of the consequences. Fast forward to several years later, and guess what? David's still at it, defending his behavior on his own YouTube. It's almost like he was stuck in a time loop, unable to comprehend the gravity of his actions, and that, my friends, is what makes this story so utterly baffling and disturbing. Schumacher, who, at the age when most people are tossing their graduation caps, decided to take a detour into the realm of absolute absurdity. Picture this, 4-day chat that goes from, hey, you seem kinda my age, to downright disturbing territory. Our buddy Schumacher, in all his wisdom, invites this person he believes isn't quite in the same age bracket to a block party. Classy move, right? Hold on, gets worse. In this cringe-worthy chat log, he dove into the details of his, let's call them romantic interests. I won't get into the nitty-gritty, but let's just say it involves phrases like jolly stick among other questionable preferences. And if that ain't enough, he was planning the whole shebang, from the party to the after-party. Catch my drift, at least. Now, let's fast forward to the day of reckoning. Schumacher somehow talked his sister into giving him a ride to the setup's home. And that's where the story takes something of a surreal turn.
Ma'am. Ma'am. Do we have anything else in here in the car?
Let me take it back to the time when he made an entrance. Yeah, he strolled into the scene like he was entering a VIP lounge, admiring the decor and casually dropping hints about sparking up some herbs with his newfound friend. But oh, this is where the plot thickens. Enter Chris Hansen, the man, the myth, the legend, you know him. Now, here's the kicker. Schumacher, in the face of the impending storm in the form of Chris Hansen, didn't break a sweat.
Good, how are you? What's happening?
Nope, not a bead of perspiration in sight. Just nonchalantly plopped himself down as if he's expecting a casual chat about the weather. I mean, seriously, why isn't this guy panicking? It's like he's auditioning for a role in a sitcom, walking in with an air of coolness that's just downright baffling. Most folks would be losing their marbles, but not our man Schumacher. He was treating the whole situation like it was a casual hangout.
How you doing?
David, I'm Chris. Nice to see you. How's everything?
So, Schumacher, in the midst of all this chaos, suddenly got hit with a bolt from the blue. You see, he'd been rolling along, mistakenly thinking Chris was the girl's dad. Don't ask how he got there. But that's when a light bulb lit up in his head. He turned to Chris, the arbinger of justice in this bizarre situation, and blurted out,
Like law enforcement.
I happen to know law enforcement.
You do. So you're an expert in this area.
No, I'm just saying you.
Yeah, just like that. Decided to play detective. Well, but wait, it gets even wilder. Schumacher, in an act of sheer desperation, started dropping hints about his supposed connections with law enforcement. Now, you think someone in his shoes would be shaking like a leaf at this point, right? Wrong. Schumacher, in a display of nonchalance that defies all logic, acted like he couldn't care less about the impending storm.
I don't know. She didn't really tell me.
But she did tell him.
Chris, the man with the chat log, started reading it out loud, and what did he notice? Well, Schumacher was sitting there looking as cool as a cucumber. Here's the kicker. When Chris confronted him about his chat, Schumacher's response was chilling. He was desperately clinging to the lie that he was just taking the setup to the party. And, oh, there was his sister conveniently waiting outside in the car to chauffeur them to the venue. Innocent enough, you might think, but hang on, there's a twist in the tale.
And your poor sister's waiting outside with 2 babies in the car?
Yeah.
After Chris had did some detective work and chatted with Schumacher's sister, turns out she had absolutely no clue about his shady plans to meet up with the setup. Surprise, surprise, she thought they were just going to a regular old party. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Chris, the master of calling people out, decided to lay on the shame thick. He was like, dude, why would you put your sister and her 2 innocent babies in this messed up situation? And let me tell you, Schumacher was not taking this lightly. The dude was getting all worked up, and you could practically see the steam coming out of his ears. Chris had him cornered, and Schumacher was feeling the heat. Big time.
I didn't come over here to have sex. I'm over here to get the girl and go to the party, dude.
In all his misguided glory, Schumacher initially thought Chris was the long arm of the law. But surprise, surprise, he was proven wrong when Chris dropped the bomb about his real identity, and bam! NBC camera crew popped out like a surprise party. Now here's where the real comedy gold is. Schumacher, realizing his face had been the star of the show for a hot minute, decided to do a makeshift disguise using his hat and shirt. I mean, dude, cat's already out of the bag.
No, nothing going on here, dude. Nothing funny going on here.
Nothing funny going on.
No.
Seriously though, he looks like a total clown right now. But wait, the drama doesn't stop there. Now that he was hit with the reality that he was about to become primetime material, Schumacher went into full-on defense mode.
Let me explain something to NBC for a second here.
He was like, hold up NBC, you're missing the point here. In a last-ditch effort, he threw shade at the channel, claiming they were out to get innocent role-playing enthusiasts just trying to live their virtual lives. Here comes the cherry on top. He stepped outside, probably thinking he's making a grand exit, only to be greeted by the cold embrace of law enforcement. Oh, the irony. Remember when he confidently mentioned knowing law enforcement? Well, turns out they know him too, but not in the way he'd want. Meanwhile, Schumacher's sister, the unwitting character in this bizarre play, found out about her brother's escapades. Apparently, he took the liberty to add a few years of the setup's real age. What's more, this bozo came to be known as a total wannabe Eminem. He was facing the camera, hat and shirt and disguise in place, dropping truth bombs about his innocent role-playing. All this while his sister was learning about his questionable choices right outside the house. You won't believe what went down during Schumacher's arrest. Guy was a walking spectacle, getting cuffed by the police, and instead of, keeping a low profile, he was all boisterous, having a good laugh when they couldn't find any green on him. But that's not all, oh no. Schumacher, in his finest hour of defiance, boldly declared that he didn't even need to hook up with the girl because he had all kind of girls waiting in the wings. I think he was trying to pull off some sort of power move here, I can't really tell.
Role playing chat room, dude, because the girl was role playing, man.
Here comes the grand finale of his arrest theatrics, though. Schumacher, with all the confidence of a man who thought he got it all figured out, announced his master plan. He was gonna sue everyone involved in his arrest once he was found not guilty. If he was found not guilty. Schumacher intended on going down in the blaze of glory, laughing out the police, flexing his imaginary romantic options, and threatening to unleash the legal hounds once he walked free. Guy didn't just tiptoe into the world of controversy, he cannonballed right in. So here's the lowdown. Schumacher had quite the laundry list of charges piled against him.
2002, he led police on a high-speed chase in a stolen car. He was also convicted of grand theft and trying to sell the stolen goods.
We're talking a dozen counts, including a connection to a stabbing, robbery, swiping a motor vehicle, but the real kicker, he also had those TCAP charges hanging over his head. Now, brace yourselves for some courtroom drama. Schumacher's lawyer wasn't messing around. They subpoenaed the very computer where all those encrypted incriminating chat logs took place. But guess what? The watchdog organization, the folks behind TCAP, gave them the cold shoulder. Cue the FBI, who swooped in with a court order to nab their crucial computer. But here's where things get a little weird, honestly. As they were en route to the headquarters to seize the evidence, the watchdog members decided it was spring cleaning time. They wiped every single file related to the Schumacher case. Poof, gone. With the evidence wiped clean, Schumacher ended up facing the music on other charges.
Prosecutor said, I'll plea him down to this and he can go home today.
He got nailed with a felony aggravated assault and witness intimidation, and what was the result? 4 years, 7 months behind bars. Ow. Oh, but wait, there's also a twist. Fast forward to May 9, 2017, and Schumacher was making his grand entrance into the YouTube arena. In his channel intro, he dished out a civics lesson and took a swipe at the watchdog organization for allegedly destroying evidence in his case. And the drama doesn't stop there. He had plans for his channel. He wasn't holding back. He goes off on the so-called boy TCAPers, slams the police, and dives headfirst into the murky waters of current affairs in America. Here's the juicy part. Schumacher didn't hold back.
Agent Stacy Kutzler wiped her computer clean.
He called out Stacy Kutzler of the Watchdog organization and accused her of cooking up those incriminating chat logs. In fact, Cutler's name was in the mix when they tried to dismiss the charges because she allegedly ran that epic data wipe. What's more, August 31st, 2017, Schumacher found himself in a sticky situation, slapped with a possession of coke over 20 grams charge. Here's the kicker. He wouldn't face sentencing until May 2019. When the gavel finally came down, he got hit with 2.5 years in the slammer. But hang on, because this story still doesn't end there. Fast forward to April 2020, and Schumacher was back on the streets, released after serving a little over 8 months. Sounds like freedom, right? Not for long. December of the same year rolled around, and our protagonist found himself in hot water again, this time in Punta Gorda, Florida. He was caught red-handed at a gas station, trying to steal a car. Yeah, looks like Schumacher couldn't stop himself from getting into trouble. But unfortunately, his grand plan went south when the car's owner showed up, and boom, next moment, he was arrested. But wait, there's more. When the police nabbed him, Schumacher claimed he thought the car had nuclear cases inside. Guy's imagination knows no bounds and his stupidity is limitless. Now, here's where things take an unexpected turn. He was cooling his heels in jail, waiting for a competency hearing in April of 2021. Surprise, surprise, he was deemed incompetent to stand trial in order to be committed to a mental institute. But guess what? There wasn't any room for him there, so as it turns out, he's still stuck in jail. For months, he tried to get another competency hearing, hoping to get sentenced with the time he had already served. And what was the result? Denied. Why? Because finally, a spot opened up at a mental institution, and he was off to the funny farm in October. As of 2022, David somehow found himself all the way over in the UK with his girlfriend Emma, reaching out to Joey's TCAP channel for an update on his life. Sounds heartwarming, right? David spilled the beans about the struggle he faced to get the green light to move to the UK.
Police and their agents. They ain't had the proof, man, because I ain't never do it.
Despite the adversity he faced, though, he finally made it across the pond, and he's got nothing but love for his girlfriend Emma. And he made that and much more clear by saying, she's never been in trouble, has a good job, finally I might get my shit together over here. But hold on, here comes another twist. I mean, granted, it's a good twist, but it's still a twist, you know? Emma stepped into the picture, describing David as a kind-hearted, generous man who's all about giving back. He's been donating food to local homeless shelters, making him seem like a real-life hero. So what happened is, after serving time for a possession of coke charge, David and Emma packed their bags. Then they made the bold move from Florida to the UK. They were dreaming of a fresh start, and they had their sights set on building a family. It's like the stuff feel-good movies are made of. However, here comes the shocker. Less than a month later, Joey dropped the bomb that David had been arrested again, this time for a burglary in good old Florida. Wait, what?
What's up, man? How's it going?
Either David was bending the truth big time, or he hopped on a jet back to the States in order to steal some stuff. Suddenly, all those claims about Emma and their idyllic life together had doubt cast over them, with the likelihood that David might have been back to his old pastime of spinning a web of lies, just like this one.
These motherfuckers manufacture evidence when they ain't got it.
Joey wasted no time. He uploaded Schumacher's arrest footage on May 18, 2023 for the world to see.
I swear. Can you put 2 cuffs on there?
So technically, Schumacher did have a point for his infamous quote about the role-playing chat room. Here's where it gets interesting though. The fandom decided to have a field day with this, serving up a generous helping of comedic material by not taking it as seriously as Schumacher did. Now, picture this. The camera crew swooped into the room and Schumacher, realizing he was about to be thrust into the spotlight, attempted that classic face-covering maneuver.
Hey man, I don't want to be on the news, you feel me?
But guess what? Schumacher, despite being acquitted of the charges stemming from his TCAP appearance, never quite followed through on his promise to sue somebody. Can't say I'm surprised, to be honest. Dude didn't even have half a case. However, the Watchdog crew claimed that he was convicted on the charges related to their chat. They argued that the aggravated manhandling charge, which landed him a 4-year and 7-month sentence, was a result of his chat, even though his criminal record tells a different story. One of the show's viewers commented and said that this wasn't the only thing this guy had done. Yeah, he groped a girl at her school, went out on bail from the TCAP charges, then later called her and threatened to kill her if she testified, and he also beat the crap out of a witness. You can get the info from the Charlotte County clerk. Agreed, David was as messed up as they came. But why did the crew wipe all the data they had against him? How do you even begin to explain that? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because I'm legitimately having a rough time figuring that bit out. Either way, don't forget to join me on my channel's Discord server for free, where we can keep the discussion going about that strange part of the story and much more. And guess what? I even have an exclusive server for those of you who are interested. Well, I'm excited to see you there, but before you leave, make sure to smack that like, subscribe, and turn on my post notifications. Also, don't forget to check out my latest video right here. It's even crazier. See you all next time.